Hello, I'm Richard Vobes, the Bold Explorer, and this is my Sunday chat. Sunday chat today for the 6th of December, I think it is, he says, just double checking. Yes, it's Sunday the 6th. I'm actually recording this the day before because hopefully by the time you're filming this, I'm probably out somewhere stalking the countryside or the border, the Sussex border, filming a next episode. That's the plan. Anyway, so this is my opportunity just to have a general chit chat with you and report on things, all things Bald Explorer, and tell you how things are going. Now, you may remember, and I can't remember if this was featured in the Bald Explorer at all on a Sunday chat, but certainly in the Vobes show, Andrew Norris has been productive and has produced one of these shopping bags. We did it as a bit of an experiment to see whether it was worth producing them. I'm not sure that the work involved in order to produce these bespoke bags is probably going to be worth it because this is all done by hand. This is stenciled on. But it's a lovely, simple, I guess it's I was going to say canvas, but I don't think it's canvas. It's a sort of cotton bag, isn't it, with the Bald Explorer logo on. But he's very kindly sent it to me as an experiment. We were going to do a very short run of them, but I've got a feeling that it's going to be too much like hard work, really. So we may instead, I will have a look on the shop. We have a shop where the mugs and T-shirts are available. I don't know if they do shopping bags there. That might be easier. But I'll have another chat with Andrew and see what he wants to do. But anyway, I thought I'd bring you up to speed with that because some people have asked and it suddenly turned up, which is brilliant. Talking of Andrew Norris, we are working on a puppet show. Now, that sounds all very grand, and you may have seen in the week the video I put when Andrew's puppets turned up, and I did a bit of an unboxing and put forward the idea for the show. And a lot of people have been very interested in that. And actually, one lady's come forward and said that she's into doing lino prints. And as a donation, she would very much like to do a lino print image that we could use either within the videos that we make about this reenactment of Walter Wilkinson, or somewhere in that process. And I said, that'd be absolutely delightful. Thank you very much. So I had a sort of a chat with her by email about the sort of things that we could do. So as soon as something materializes or we get some ideas, I will, of course, share those with you. So that would be exciting. And I went back to Andrew and told him, and he was thrilled. And he said he'd done some lino cutting himself, being an artist. He's done a bit of everything. And he said, ideally, you want something that is stylish, simple, and quite bold, because you are cutting from lino, and intricate detail is probably not what we want. And because we are doing the reenactment of Walter Wilkinson's period in 1920s when he was walking around Sussex with his booth, we thought maybe it could be a booth in the countryside or with the downs represented, something like that, perhaps even in a field of corn. He preferred to be in the country rather than in the towns and conurbations. So something like that would be good. But as soon as we got some imagery, I will let you know. So that's all good. We've got more puppets coming. Andrew's working on a character called John Barleycorn, which is featured in the book and is one of the characters in the puppet show. And actually, he sent me some pictures of how it's going, and he's just doing the finishing touches. And on the Monday Vobe show after this, he's got a video which he sent me, which I won't show yet, because we'll play that in on the Vobe show on Monday, where he goes into the making of John Barleycorn and his thought process behind it. But he has sent me some photographs. So let me just get over here and show you the pictures that he sent me of his artwork. So this is a sort of concept drawing of the face of this character, John Barleycorn. And I believe that John Barleycorn is there to represent what happens to barley in the old days of beer making. That barley would be grown, but it had to die because it was used to turn into malt to make beer. That's my understanding, but it may be something different. So he started to do the same thing with the balloon, a bit of papier-mâché, and you'll see there he's got what's balsa wood cut into the ears of barley, which is ever so clever, I think, and he's glued them on. This was his concept, again, where he'd painted up the balsa wood to see how it would work. And then we have here the final result at the moment. So really, really good. Very thrilled to see that. Thank you so much. He's got some finishing touches on the face to do, but I'm very excited, and then no doubt that will be winging its way over. So we're slowly putting this project together. As we said before in the video, it will be in the spring. And I know somebody came forward and said, oh, I could write you the scripts for the puppet show. And I was thinking about this. In the book, the Sussex Peep Show that we read, the book is in great detail about where he goes, how he goes, sleeping in his tent, finding an audience, getting permission to set up the booth, and that sort of thing. He talks a bit about the puppets and laying them out and getting the stuff ready. But what we never really get is an insight into the puppet show itself. I get the impression that it's not the puppet show of the Punch and Judy show of that's the way to do it. Plus the fact I don't actually even, I think he calls it a Punch and Judy, but I'm not convinced that there is a Punch or a Judy in his show that stars in it. I think that just became an umbrella name, really, for these peep shows in little booths. And because of that, when we do our reenactment of his trip, I want to, if possible, get some period clothes so that Andrew and I can dress up and represent him on his travels in different locations of the period in 1920s. So I need to sort of source those. Have the booth, of course. Show how the puppets were laid out, show the tent, some sort of mock-up tent that he would have slept in, the sort of things they would have ate, the going and getting permission and all that kind of stuff. But actually when it comes to the puppet show, although I'd like to get an audience and maybe get some kids, if it's possible to get them dressed up in what children would have been wearing in the 20s, that would be fantastic. I don't know how possible that's going to be, but you never know. There might be somebody with some theatrical costumes out there who will be prepared to help us out on this one occasion. And then film it in perhaps almost a sort of pastel-y way, to look like the days, perhaps with a more golden sunshine and perhaps the colours more simplified rather than making it too much of today. So it's very much almost through a lens, through a filter, like a filter as it were. So I haven't fully fixed in my mind how it's going to be done, but anytime you see the actual puppet show in operation, I think the secret there is, because we don't know the content of the puppet show, is that we don't show it. We only show it from afar, so the camera would always be at the back of the audience. We can't quite hear what they're saying. We see them moving, but we don't quite hear it. It's behind a hedge, and we see a bit of the hedge, and perhaps a sparrow or a bird lands. Could be a puppet bird, of course. And we see the audience, and we see how that. So we're aware that the puppet show's going on, but we never really capture in detail the dialogue and the language, because he doesn't give us that in the book. And I think it would be wrong to do that, because that would be making us with our 21st century thoughts on what the content of the show was. So that's something I'm thinking about on that. Still progressing, as you would have noticed, on the Sussex border walk, which is going quite well. The feedback has been great. Thank you very much. Don't forget that as I go along, you'll know pretty much where I'm going to be headed, because I'm following the border. And if there's interesting places that you think I should know about, please do email me, richard@vobes.com. Email me and tell me about them, or message me on Facebook on the Bald Explorer page, and let me know and give me some bits and pieces of information. And I will try, I can't promise, but I will try and filter those into the program. So I need enough time, of course, to do that. So that's all going on. The weather is a bit miserable at the moment, so I'm imagining that I won't necessarily get 5 or 6 days of the border walks in, because we've got rain and things. So we may have 2, 3, 4 episodes in a week. It really depends. If it's really wet and nasty, then I'll probably try and do something different. I want to try and keep them in the style that they've got at the moment. So if conditions aren't right, I may present something else on that front. The other question, just before I go, is I was chatting to Sean James Cameron about YouTube things, and here's a question. I'd like to know, and you can email me this or message, or better still, put it in the comments. When do you watch the Bald Explorer videos? Do you watch them in the morning when they come out? Do you watch them later on? I'd just be interested in your watching habits of when is the best time for you to be watching them. So if you could leave those in the comments, that would be fantastic. Love to know that. Anyway, there we are. That's the Sunday chat for today. I'm going to leave it very simple. I've just noticed in the recording a couple of flashes have gone past. I'm not quite sure what's going on, but I've got no control over that in the way that I'm filming this, so I hope that hasn't marred your interest. Got the live reading show is on Listen with Vobes channel. The link will be in the description. Don't forget I'm recording my behind the scenes podcast, The Naked Englishman, which you can find at nakedenglishman.co.uk or on a podcast catcher app. Search for that. And that's it. So thank you so much for watching. It's been nice to catch up with you again, hoping that we have some good weather next week so that I can get out and continue to do the Sussex border walk. Till then, bye-bye.